All right, Charmaine. Hope you're doing well. You look glowing today. You look very happy. Can you just briefly introduce yourself? Just tell us more about who you are, what you do.
My name is Charmaine Griffiths, and I do a few things. So, mostly it's content creation and social media. I do it full time capacity and I do it for freelance clients as well. And currently started like an agency to do marketing and sales together.
What I want to do mainly is just kind of go over your transformation because it was incredible to witness that. So yeah, you're a completely different person to compared to when we first met. So can you just describe where you were when we started? Like what person were you and what problems were you facing? Just what was it? Yeah, what was the situation when we back then when we started?
Okay. I can't even really remember if I watched one of your videos or how it came about, but I think you came into my life at a very specific point where I wanted to do more and I knew that I was capable of doing more, but I was just not organized. I wasn't organized, I wasn't clear with the plan, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I sort of had a goal somewhere of what I wanted, but I think every call that I had in the beginning with you, I was crying. I think I'm pretty sure. And then you'll give me things to do, and then I'd always have an excuse, and it was just so messy. And I was just so overwhelmed. I think I was just overwhelmed, wanting to be more, but I wanted to give up so many times. So many times. I think I tried to. It was just a very different version of my life. It was messy and emotional and just it's so interesting to look back and to think that I was that version of me.
Yeah, it's crazy for me as well. Seeing the change for last couple of months is crazy. What was the state of the, let's call it, business back then? What was that like?
I was working with clients where my passion was to help people, but I didn't really have clear boundaries. So I was doing the work, but I had no sort of self-worth. So I was charging what I assumed was my worth. So it was only a couple of hundred of bucks. But I was working all the time and I felt stressed about it. And I was like, maybe I'm not going in the right direction. So the business was just, it wasn't scalable. It wasn't scalable at all. It was me doing all the work. It was me just hustling or trying to keep afloat and trying to do two things at the same time. I was like, no, my day job is the most important. I'm gonna let go of any business that I thought I wanted.
So you were working. I guess those are common issues, right? When you're overworking, you're working with clients you don't. When you said only pay a couple $100 and they expect so much, and you just try to give it all to them, but you don't have any systems, you don't have any team, you don't have anybody. You're just working a lot. You're overworking. You're getting burned out, and that's maybe why you're yeah, maybe I should just focus on my job. I think that's the position that a lot of people are in. They're trying to make something work, but then it's way too much. But it really just comes down to maybe you doing a couple things wrong. You're just approaching it in the wrong way. It's not really the business, it's just how you go about building the business that's kind of overwhelming, or maybe too much, because look at you now. So it's a whole different thing. You're still running you're still running a business that's so much bigger. How's the business changed today? What does it look like at the moment?
So now, again, very interesting to refer back where I was only doing my job and then a few clients, maybe 3 or 4. But now I am, one could say, doing 3 jobs. So I have my full-time job, my agency, and then I'm working with a partner. I'm building another agency now. We're still working it out. We're working out exactly what the flow would be with that. But just the organization, the level of clients, the level of work, I just feel so much more organized and capable of doing, I'm working towards my purpose and my passion, and just having so much clarity and confidence. I think that's the thing as well, is now having a foundation and support, having you, my calls with you and the community. It's just built such a strong foundation that the quality of just everything is just higher. I am more confident. That brings in a better client that is paying, instead of hundreds, thousands.
Yeah.
It's just changed everything. It's changed. I just feel like now, when I look in the mirror, before I was like, oh, I'm doing so much work, I'm a worker. But now it's no, you're a founder. you're a CEO, you're a creative director. It's scary, but
Yeah, that's growth. That's what growth feels like. What would you say? Like, how much are you charging your clients, like your higher ticket clients now?
I remember this conversation as well where you were like pushing like don't charge you're why are you charging 100 like, and I'm like, oh, but it's a stretch to do. Now minimum it's 2,500. We do not work with clients less than 2,500, which is
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. But it's very this is the price.
What is like what's the business generating now at the moment? Say like this month so far, what is it like?
So like now I want to say I think I've already made like 7K.
This month so
Just-
far? But we hit like the first 10K a month, I think last month, right? Or was that the month before?
Yeah, I've already hit 10K.
So the business, we get like one more client this month, and then we'll be at 10K.
Easy.
I love that. Okay. Based on like how things are going right now, where do you feel like you'll be, or you want to be in like a couple, like 6 months, 12 months, or like by the end of this year, based on how things are going at the moment?
So already there's 3 people that that we've brought onto the team, which I think is also just like such a exciting thing to create opportunities for others. Like that's my goal as well. But I'm looking in the next 12 months having an office and having like full-time employees and serving like bigger clients, having a space where content creation and spaces to do workshops like that, like much bigger, like scaling much bigger than what we are now. Like now it's just it's already such a big shift, but like this is going to go into being like a full, like a real business, not just like a side hustle, not just something to generate extra income, like making it
For sure.
real.
Obviously now we started, I don't know where you were with the bit. I think like you were charging a couple hundred months, a couple
I think
hundred
the
bucks.
total income I was getting 1,200.
Like $1,000. So we like this month. What do you have like people in the pipeline for the rest of the month?
Yeah. Do
kind?
another developer, realtor, that kind of business, but that's big bucks. That's
What are you talking?
like 15.
15K?
Yeah, so it's been sent out and all of that. I think that's the scary part as well. It's like just getting like the team members, everyone ready and set up for this bigger client.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When you have like a bigger deal, it's like you're almost hoping it won't close, because if you do close, it's so much work, so much stuff to get done. Yeah,
already
that's for sure.
It's pretty, but I think it's like the training now. So it's training, putting systems in place and all of that. That's taking up the most of the time. But like once that's set up, all that time is freed then to bring in more clients.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. We're currently just building a team. Already, like I think we did that like last week. That went pretty quickly. Like build a team out, got people on, and now it's easy, obviously, sign up more clients. But yeah, for sure. So focusing on client acquisition next couple of months, that will be very exciting. But this is an interesting question. What do you feel like has surprised you the most, like when working with me, or like what did you not expect? What surprised you like positively? Like what do you feel like you didn't quite expect this to be, but then it was?
I think for me, like I was listening to you, and you had everything like mapped out, all the things and everything, but I think I was just not getting it. Like I was so afraid. Like I kept my fear kept me small, and looking at something this big, I was like, I can't do it. But then working with you and you having, like, you believed in me when I didn't, and you saw potential in me when I didn't. And it was like working with that. And I think that's what makes all the difference. I think there's a lot of people that are like, I can help you make 10K a month. But then with you, it's all the extra things, like all the extra meetings, all the extra support. Because sometimes I'm bad where I'm like, I don't give you updates and you're like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then I think what happened is, like, as I started having more and more meetings with you, I started realizing, how can I take what you're giving me and then using my own way of doing things? Like last week we had a meeting and you said, build these systems. And I'm like, yo, I don't have time. Where that would have been going back to when we first started, like I would have an excuse and all of that. But you've taught me, like, who can you put in place to get this done? So that's what I did. I hired an ops manager and I'm like, yo, take this, build this for me. That's all the decision that I needed to make, is like stepping into that higher level where I have the best people to support me to do the work. I don't have to do the work. I just need to have the right people to do the work that needs to get done.
So you would say the support, like the support is like the main thing that you wouldn't have expected to be this much.
I did, yeah. You really put in, like, it's not about the money for you. It's about the success of the people. Not everyone does that. I think that's just, it puts you, like, you would have these loom, it was like a little loom competition, like that kind of thing, to help people, to motivate people. And all these things that you see and you listen. I think that's the biggest thing. Is like you sit, you listen, you take feedback from everyone in the community, and you're like, okay, let me sit this weekend and build this for you. You really listen and adapt to what people need, you know? Like I was in a space where I was like, I can't afford it. And you're like, yo, chill. You got this. And making that decision, the money came.
I remember that, yeah. Like we're in a place where you could barely make this happen in terms of finances. And then, yeah, I was like, I mean, I remember what I told you. I was like, I mean, we'll just figure this out somehow, because I know like finances will not be the issue in a couple months from now. And that's exactly what happened. Like the biggest, like now it doesn't even, like it doesn't, it's like the business is bringing enough money for you to not to worry about how much money exactly is coming in now. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's not, it's like, cool.
yeah, you got, I mean, that's fine. So yeah, I remember that. So like you were barely in a position where you could even afford help. And now, yeah, now it's obviously totally different. What would you tell somebody? Like if somebody's on the fence of like about working with me, what would you tell them based on your experience? Like they're like, oh, should I do this? Maybe it's a lot. Yeah, should I invest into myself? Should I really get help? I can probably just do this myself. Like, why don't I just at least try and see how far I get? Like, what would you tell? Because that's the main things I hear when talking to people. So what would you like tell them?
If you want to make this work, you would make this investment in yourself. That's all. That's the only decision you need to make. Do you want this? Because it does work. It does work. You have the recipe. You know, you have the proof. You have people that are doing all the things. And that's the thing as well. It's like so many people can see the results, but you will get the results if you make the choice to invest in yourself. That's the only decision, in my opinion. I wish I knew. Like, I wish I knew in the beginning. I wish I knew that I don't have to rely, like, on again, coming back to the belief that you have in people, because you see the potential. It's not, again, about the money for you. It's like, you don't just take anyone to come into this program. You want to make sure that it is the right fit for that person. And if you can see that potential, they should believe you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I guess, yeah, do you have anything else you want to share? Any thoughts? Like, I don't have any questions anymore, but do you have anything you want to share?
I'm just so, like, not to get too emotional, but I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without you, and just your constant support. Like, I know, like, I look forward to, like, our calls, and just knowing, like, I'm excited now. I'm excited to show you what the next steps are. I'm excited to pick your brain on certain things. I know that my business is successful, and my business is something now because of your help, and I couldn't have done it without you. Like, I would have been the same person getting $1,200, having a dream, telling everyone that I have this dream, but it wasn't a reality. And now I'm stepping into a version of me where I want to be on stages. I want to share that digital marketing can bring this to people, and that's going to change. You didn't just change my life, like you're changing so much more, you know, like the net that you're casting is so much more. And that's what I like working with you as well. It's like you're not looking at the small picture. It's bigger than all of us, and you see that. It's changed my life. And me, it's changed me as a person as well.
Yeah, Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for those words. Yeah, I really appreciate that. But I know exactly what you mean because I wanna share my thoughts on that because it's like you built your own business, then you realize what this can actually do. Like I built my agency, I realized what like wow, like I was yeah back like, if I remember like a year ago, I was like yeah my life changed a lot. So if I know well this is what this can do for me within a year or so, within just even a couple months, then why wouldn't I share that with other people who can then do the same thing for themselves? Like a lot of people asking like why don't you just continue like why don't you just focus on your agency? Why do you want to help people? If your agency was so successful, then why would you help others? Because it's just more fulfilling. Like that's a very simple answer. This is how it is. Like when I especially now when I talk to you and how you know how much you changed and how yeah how far you've come already, but there's also obviously a lot more in front of us as well. But like just seeing that you know you telling me these things is like what makes us all worth it. And honestly, you know running agencies is really cool. Like I love that, and that's why I'm building them. But this is great too. Like I love this aspect as well. Like yeah, just being able to just having like yeah, just having the opportunity to be able to change people's lives and income and just financially and a bunch of other aspects as well. Just having that opportunity to be able to do that in the first place is really great. Like it's crazy because yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to even do this.
I love that because you're like my business coach, you know? You're my business coach. You're not just like, I'm not just in like a course. You're like my business coach. That's how I introduce you to other, like when I speak about you, it's like my business coach. I'm going to run it by my business coach. And what I like with you as well, it's like, you're not just saying the things, you're doing the things. You invest in yourself. You go, you surround yourself with people that are better than you so that you can take that knowledge and bring it back to the community. You're spending weekends building the business, building how you can just be like you're just investing more and more time into your output. And I feel like yes, cool, the agency, I think you need the agency to have that credit, but I think it's more than that. It's just like you are just like at a different level. Like you get so much more than what you pay for. Like the investment is like it's just like that agreement. I think that's the thing. It's like when people pay for things, then they take it more seriously. But the investment is just so you get so much more value for your money.
So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time as well. But yeah, I hope maybe this was a little valuable for some people who've seen this. But yeah, this is what can happen if you decide to take the step. I mean, obviously it's a lot. Like I know you took some big steps as well. You know, considering to you know quit the job, go full time into this, and then kind of things happen like this now. But yeah, it's like taking those kind of steps. For me, when I remember myself like quitting college, like actually just dropping out and then not telling anybody that I dropped out, just like doing it and then keeping it a secret, building my business in the background. That's kind of the steps where if you like, I know it's a big thing and it's nervous and like you are nervous and it's nerve-wracking to do those kind of decisions. But I feel like only these big decisions like lead to big changes in life. I feel like if you always avoid those type of decisions, then you just nothing is gonna really change. But I know it's like it feels risky, and I mean it is. Like it's not risky. Me, for example, me like just quitting and I'm not telling anybody. I had like 2 months to make it work, and yeah, I could have not worked. Like there's a possibility I could have not worked, but I think the way I make those decisions and the way I would recommend everybody to make those type of decisions, like quitting job, dropping out, going full time into business, or taking risk within business, running ads, whatever that might be, right? I feel like you just think about like if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, how will my life look in 5 years from now? And if you're not satisfied with that, then just take the step, do the change, whatever. Because if you're not satisfied with what you're doing anyway, just because it's more comfortable, you should probably not stay in that position. Because like, do you want to live a comfortable or an exciting life? That's like the question I guess you might ask yourself. But all right, Charmaine, appreciate you. Thank you for listening to my rant as well.
I love
But
it.
all right, well, I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll do some kind of follow-up because we have a lot more to go. All right?
Thanks so much.
All right.